Hello everyone and welcome to Metagame Mastery. Today we are taking a look at Dominaria's limited archetypes, Mushrooms, which is a Golgari, Aristocrat, and Reanimator build. If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Without further ado, big time! Go time! Let's go! First up, sort of the paragon of this archetype is Slimefoot the Stowaway. He's 3 CMC, 1 colorless, black, green for a 2/3 legendary fungus. Whenever a sapling you control dies, Slimefoot the Stowaway deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. You can also pay 4 colorless mana at any time to create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. And our goal is to flood the board with saplings. Common cards like Sapling Migration is going to be key to this strategy. It's 2 CMC, 1 colorless, and a green for a sorcery with an additional kicker cost of 4 colorless. You create 2 1/1 green sapling creature tokens. If it was kicked, you create 4 of those tokens instead, allowing us to really flood the board and fuel our aristocrat strategy. There's also Spore Swarm, which is 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a green instant. Create 3 1/1 green sapling creature tokens. Yavimaya Sapherd is 3 CMC, 2 colorless, and a green for a 2/2 creature fungus. And when it's the battlefield, it creates a 1/1 green sapling creature token. Of course, we want to flood the board with these tokens and pump them up with a great uncommon. Spore Crown Thalid is 2 CMC, 1 colorless, and a green for a 2/2 fungus. Each other creature you control that's a fungus or sapling gets +1/+1. Getting a bunch of these in draft is key to just being able to flood the board and pump up our creatures for extreme value. Of course, the ultimate powerhouse of this deck is Verdant Force. It's 8 CMC, 5 colors, green, 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 for a 7/7 elemental at the beginning of each upkeep. That's yours and your opponent's. Create a 1/1 green sapling creature token, which means if this survives even 1 turn cycle, it's 9 power and toughness spread across 3 bodies. He's a great reanimation target, and the fact that he creates 2 sapling tokens per turn cycle allows him to fuel cards like Whisper, Blood, Liturgist. 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a black for a 2/2 legendary human cleric. You can tap him, sacrifice 2 creatures, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So not only is he a great way for you to cheat your Verdant Force into play, but once Verdant Force is out, he can repeatedly cheat out more and more creatures every single turn. And he's a great sack outlet for this deck. Also a great sack outlet and reanimation target is Torgar Famine Incarnate. He's 6 colorless, black, black for a 7/6 legendary avatar. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 colorless less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. When he enters the battlefield, up to 1 target player's life total becomes half their starting life total rounded down. So you can knock your opponent down to 10, and he's a sack outlet that allows you to cheat into play a 7/6 beat body. Very powerful card for this deck. Thalid Omnivore is 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a black for a 3/3 fungus. You can pay 1 colorless, sacrifice another creature. Thalid Omnivore gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If a sapling was sacrificed this way, you gain 2 life. Very powerful sack outlet, not only allowing us to attack in with a 5/5 or greater every single turn, but getting us that incidental life gain as well is very strong. Lots of value on this card. Another sack outlet we have is Thalid Soothsayer. It's 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a black for a 2/3 fungus. You can pay 2 colorless, sacrifice a creature to draw a card. There's such a high premium on card draw and card advantage in Limited. This is actually super powerful in this format. And getting value off of our creatures like Deathbloom Thalid, 3 CMC, 2 colorless, and a black for a 3/2 fungus. When Deathbloom Thalid dies, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token, effectively being 2 creatures for purposes of sack outlets. And on top of that, gaining the resiliency and value for when anything happens to it, you generate another creature token. Fungal Plot allows us to get even more value off of our creatures once they've died. It's 2 CMC, 1 colorless, and a green. For an enchantment, you can pay 1 colorless and a green, exile a creature card from your graveyard to create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. You can also sacrifice 2 saplings for no mana cost, and you gain 2 life and draw a card. Super powerful card draw card here, and it gets us the additional value of being able to turn creatures that have already died into saplings on the board. Great addition to this strategy. Dark Bargain is a great card advantage card as well. It's 4 CMC, 3 colorless, and a black. For an instant, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, and the other into your graveyard. It deals 2 damage to you. Awesome, because it not only gets you card advantage, but it helps to populate your graveyard with some potentially huge threats. Not just Verdant Force, not just our Famine Incarnate Avatar, but there are awesome beasties in green as well, like Thorn Elemental, 7 CMC, 5 colorless, green for a 7/7 elemental. You may have Thorn Elemental assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Great way to finish an opponent off. Daragaz Reincarnated is 7 CMC, 4 colorless, black, red, green for a 7/7 legendary dragon with flying, trample, and haste. If he would die, instead exile him with 3 egg counters on him at the beginning of your upkeep. If he is exiled with an egg counter on him, remove an egg counter from him. Then, if there are no egg counters left on him, return him to the battlefield. Great way to push through damage early if you can reanimate him. And then, on top of that, you'll be able to, if anything dies, you'll be able to bring him back just a couple turns later. Very powerful. But that's really specific. I mean, you're not running red in the deck. So how do you know that you'll be able to get him into your graveyard and reanimate him reliably? Cards like Final Parting are great for smoothing out your combos. It's 5 CMC, 3 colorless, black for a sorcery. Search your library for 2 cards, put 1 into your hand and the other into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Great way to populate your graveyard with reanimation targets, and then put a reanimation spell into your hand. Vicious Offering is a really great sack outlet because it's 2 CMC, 1 colorless and a black for an instant. It also has a kicker of sacrifice a creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If the spell is kicked, that creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn instead. Great removal, especially good in this deck where we're going to have a ton of extra creatures, and it's at instant speed. Very powerful. Rite of Belzenlock is 4 CMC, 2 colorless, black for an Enchantment Saga. On the first 2 lore counters, you create 2 0/1 black creature tokens. Then on the 3rd lore counter, you create a 6/6 black creature token with flying, trample, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice another creature. If you can't, this creature deals 6 damage to you. Shouldn't be a problem the way we're flooding the board, and it generates a massive bomb that helps us push through damage. Not to mention, it's a sack outlet to synergize with Slimefoot and our other aristocrat synergies. Lastly, I wanted to look at Fungal Infection. This is a card that seems underwhelming, but is actually super versatile. It's 1 black mana for an instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. So this is a combat trick, which is super important to have, and it only costs 1 mana, so your opponent may not see it coming. It's also situational removal, killing anything with 1 toughness. And lastly, it gets you the additional value of getting a green sapling token on the board, which will allow you to continue fueling your sacrifice engines. Very good fit for this deck. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. This has been Metagame Mastery. Peace!